Hello everyone, welcome back. In today's video, we've got our final playoff preview and power rankings video of the NHL season. In today's video, we're looking at the last playoff preview as the Stanley Cup Finals coming up. And I'm just going to give you a quick power rankings of who I have as the top team entering the Stanley Cup Final. This is my last power rankings video. Go to all the updates from the past couple of days and my playoff preview and power rankings coming up right now. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video here at the End-to-End Hockey channel. For really don't forget to like this video and subscribe below. Thank you for all of your support. I would never be able to do it without you guys, so if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe button down below. Don't forget to leave a comment. We're on the road to 500 subscribers, and don't forget to stay tuned for my June 27th, June 28th, and July 1st live streams. So in today's video, we've got a playoff preview slash power rankings video, so it's going to be week, I think, 32 or 33 of the power rankings series, and this is going to be my last power rankings video of the season. And we've also got our last playoff preview video, as in today's video we're doing a playoff preview around the Stanley Cup Final. So let's get into it. So in the Stanley Cup Final, we have the Edmonton Oilers and the Florida Panthers. The Panthers were the third team in the Atlantic Division this year. They wound up going to Tampa Bay Lightning in round 1, took them down in 5 games, went to the Toronto Maple Leafs in round 2. They were down 2-0 at one point, but stormed their way back, won in 7, beat them 4-3, and then they went to Carolina in round 3 in the conference final and beat them in 5 games. So it took them 5 games to get out of round 1, 7 to get out of round 2, and 5 to get out of round 3. So they have won 12 games up to this point and lost 5. So it's a solid record there for the Panthers. When you go over to the Oilers side, they finished 3rd in the Pacific Division this year. They had to go to Los Angeles first up, and they wound up beating them in 6 games after losing the first 2 in that series. They then had to go to the Pacific winning Knights, and they went to them. They took them down in 5 games, so a solid win there for the Oilers against Vegas. And then they went to Dallas in the Western Conference Final and also took them down in 5 games. So the Oilers have a 12-4 record at this point in time in the playoffs. So both teams have been looking stellar. The Oilers had to win 4 straight against the Stars to get here, while the Panthers had a 3-0 series lead and did win in 5 games over the Carolina Hurricanes. So very interesting note there. This is a rematch of the Stanley Cup Final from last year, as the Oilers and Panthers played in last year's Stanley Cup Final, where the Panthers got up 3-0 in the series. Oilers tied it at 3 apiece, and then the Panthers won it in 7 games. So very interesting note there. We'll see how this year stacks up against last year. So we'll start off with the playoff preview portion. So if you look at these two teams, they stack up pretty well against each other offensively. I will definitely give the top end talent and actually the entire defensive core to the Edmonton Oilers. I do think that the Oilers are definitely the better team offensively. I think top end talent, you can't compete with McDavid and Draisaitl, and even their depth has shown to be really solid this year. And I think might be a slight bit better than Florida's. So I'm going to give the offensive edge to the Edmonton Oilers. Defensively, I'm going to give the edge to the Florida Panthers. I think both teams have pretty good defenses. I know Ekholm's just gone back for the Edmonton Oilers, but even with Ekholm back, I think the Panthers top to bottom, especially after the addition of Seth Jones at the trade deadline, do have the better blue line than the Edmonton Oilers do. And in net, as much as Skinner and Picard have both done pretty dang good in the playoffs this year, I'm not betting against Bobrovsky. He's a proven starter. He won the Stanley Cup with them last year, and as much as Skinner's done all right this year, especially in the playoffs, especially in the last 2 rounds, I am going to give the Florida Panthers the edge in net. So I'm giving the Panthers the defensive and goaltending edge. I'm giving the Edmonton Oilers the offensive edge. This is the 2nd time in NHL history that the Oilers and Panthers have been in the playoffs. The last time was last year when the Panthers won 7 games to win the Stanley Cup. So these two teams are very familiar with each other, having played them in last year's matchup. This is also, I think, the 3rd time in recent memory in the past, I think, like 20 or 30 years, we've had teams go to back-to-back Stanley Cup Finals. I think the last time was 08-09 when the Penguins played the Detroit Red Wings. Red Wings won the first one, Penguins won the second one. That was Crosby's first ever cup. The next one back, I think, was Oilers and Islanders back in 83-84 when the Oilers lost the first time, then they won the second time. That was Gretzky's first cup. So maybe this year it'll be McDavid's first cup, just like Crosby and Gretzky. So it's going to be a very interesting series here, and I'm definitely saying that in my last series preview video. But in this video, I'm going to do the exact same thing I predicted in the conference final, because I was right. I predicted the Oilers to win that series and the Panthers to win that series. I was actually spot on. Panthers won in 5, just like I predicted in the conference final video. Well, the Oilers won in 5, not 6, like I predicted in that video. So I did predict an Oilers-Panthers Cup final based off of the conference final standings. And with that in mind, I'm going to keep with my pick from the conference final. I'm going to say Panthers in 6. I think the Panthers are a really good team. I think the Oilers are going to give them a very good run for their money. Would not be one bit surprised if the Oilers did wind up bringing the cup back to Canada. But just because I think of how dominant the Panthers have been all playoff series long and how the Oilers sort of fizzled out a little bit towards the end of the Stanley Cup final last year, I'm going to keep with my pick from the conference final. I'm going to say Panthers in 6 games. And I'm going to say the Panthers are back-to-back cup champions for the first time since Tampa did it just 4 years ago. So very interesting note there. But as my final playoff preview, we have the Oilers, we have the Panthers, and I have the Panthers winning in 6 games. Just really quickly here, on the power rankings side, I'm going to have the Panthers enter the Stanley Cup final as a top team in power rankings, and the Oilers are going to be the second team. Like, these two teams are both really good, so it's quite hard to differentiate. That's why this is my last power rankings video. But I think with the Panthers, with the way they're playing right now, how easily they got by Carolina, I'm going to put them as the top team, and Edmonton as a very close behind second. Offensively, the Oilers are clicking. Skinner, McDavid, Perry, Kane, and Draisaitl all looking really good offensively. Nurse, Ekholm, Bouchard all looking really good defensively. And in net, Skinner has been looking great over the past couple of games. Well, for the Florida Panthers, offensively, teams looking scary. Luostarinen, Lundell, Marchand, Barkov, Rodriguez all looking really good offensively. Defensively, you've got guys like Jones, Ekblad, and Forsling all looking really good defensively. And in net, Bobrovsky has been looking stellar. So all in all, for my last power rankings portion of the video, we're going to have the Oilers enter as the second power ranking team. The Panthers enter the Stanley Cup final as the top team in power rankings. And we'll see which team winds up finishing the year the top spot in the power rankings, which would be the Stanley Cup champion. So we'll have to wait and see on that. But that's my playoff preview for the Stanley Cup final. That's my last power rankings video for the season. I'd love your guys' thoughts. Which team do you think is the better team entering the Stanley Cup final? And who do you have winning this year's Stanley Cup? Definitely your thoughts on all of that down in the comment section below. That's all I'm going to talk for today. Remember to like this video, and if you'd like to subscribe below. Thank you for all of your support. I would never be able to without you guys. So if you haven't already, don't forget the like button down below. Don't forget to subscribe. We're on the road to 500 subscribers. Really stuff with the channel. Don't forget to leave a comment and check out my June 27th, June 28th, and July 1st live streams. So don't forget to stay tuned for that. I also do a blog to about news, rumors, analysis, stuff like that. So check that out. I'll link that down in the description below. Can't wait to see you guys all for the next video. See you guys soon.